Hello and welcome to Here for the Chaos. Make sure to like, subscribe, listen to my music. My name is Lilac. Let's get into it because this one's not fun and I want to make it quick. I just wanted to talk about this situation with Cody Co. Okay, let's talk candidly because if you've watched my podcast for a while, you know that I literally have said that if I wanted to be like any creator, Cody Co, Drew Gooden, whatever, they were in the mix. He was in the mix. Not lumping Drew Gooden or Danny Gonzalez or Curtis Connor in this because if something comes out about them, I will literally cry. But basically, it's come out that Cody Co hooked up with Tana Mongeau when he was 25 and she was 17, which was revealed during their canceled tour.
Who's the smallest you've ever had sex with?
Oh my God, no one look at me, Cody Co. I can say that. I was literally 17, I can say that.
Now, she said that she didn't know that it was going to come out because they had like a no phones policy. I think that was a little bit naive. I think it was good that it did come out, but like, girl, come on, like saying something like that is crazy to expect people not to talk about, and they should. It's bothersome. It's horrible. But she had also brought it up on a podcast before, so this isn't the first time it's surfacing.
Here she is back in 2021 saying the same thing.
I was 17 at the time, 18. I started kind of hooking up with other people. Shout out JC Kalen, shout out Cody Co.
This isn't just some crazy tea. It was a crime. I grew up loving him, and I think you know what I mean? Like, I was just like excited and a fan. There was a situation with Gabby Hannah at a Playlist Live where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked up.
One time I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage. And I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know. I know she like looks a little older. She's underage. Watch it. And he's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. And then he turned that.
Well, hey there, it's editing me popping in with a couple of updates because since last night, this thing has been popping off. Update number 1. So I know this was probably one of the only times on my channel I'm gonna paint Gabby Hannah as a good person, and it immediately got taken away because while she did warn Cody that Tana was 17, which we all can appreciate, she also tried to sell this story.
This YouTuber, I don't know if I was 17 or 18. I was like on the brink, but I was at a Playlist Live and they were like trying to hook up with me. And it's something I never even like thought of again. You know what I mean? It was just like, and obviously it was like an older guy and whatever, but I mean, we're friends now. And like, obviously I'm not saying it's right. It's not right. It's entire, but I don't know if I was 17 or 18. And I don't know if anything so bad ever happened to where it's like condemning them. It was more just like a flirty weird encounter or whatever. And a couple weeks ago, I got a call from that, should I say it?
Are they doing an article?
That Gabby Hannah was trying to sell to them that this YouTuber like hooked up with me when I was like underage, and then it was, and I was like, what if this was my trauma?
So that definitely throws a little wrench in the intentions and motivations. You're turning around and then trying to sell a story of somebody's maybe trauma. That's crazy because if you know anything about Gabby Hannah, she is so like, don't talk about me, don't talk about my trauma, leave me alone, like that's not okay, like respect my trauma. And it's like, okay, but you're trying to sell a story about someone else's. Got it. I will say one thing I think is interesting is she did talk about this on her podcast. D'angelo Wallace really pulled out the receipts. Some additional receipts are that Cody Co says the N-word.
5 nigga, 6 nigga, 7 nigga, 8 nigga, 9 nigga.
Wow, are we surprised? A YouTuber that says the N-word. It truly is just like not shocking anymore because they all do it. But obviously, I, as a black woman, don't love that. One thing I also thought was interesting was that he apologized for saying the N-word on his Patreon. So didn't even apologize like on his major platforms. And I think that this is just really disappointing. I've watched Cody for years. Like I said, I have past videos on this channel where I'm like, I want to be a creator like Cody Co. So this coming out is just like really disappointing. Next, the story was corroborated by someone we dislike heavily on this channel, but a corroborating story is a corroborating story, and it's really hard to say that word. So Keemstar actually said that he had been told about this years ago, but he didn't do anything because he wasn't there to witness it, and it was told to him off the record. So it wasn't like he could just go to the cops and be like, oh, hey, off the record, like this happened and I wasn't even there to witness it, but somebody told me.
Guys, this was told to me years ago off record. I can't just leak that to the internet without knowing it's true, without someone actually going on record and destroying Cody Ko's career over something that can't be confirmed. There's no witness on record. I can't just leak that. Please use your brains, all right? I can't just come out with that statement. I wasn't there. I didn't see it with my own eyes. I get told crazy allegations off record on a daily basis. And what my team does is we try to find stuff online to confirm it. And if we can't get some credible stuff online or other witnesses that come out publicly, there's not much we can do. There's not much we can do. We can't put out information that would potentially destroy a YouTuber's career without something solid. Now, what has changed? Well, we have Tana Mongeau on record, and then we have Gabby Hannah's permission of me sharing what I was told years ago. That's what's changed. That's why I'm coming out with this statement now. But I want you guys to use your head. I even had someone saying, well, you didn't go to the police? No, I wasn't there. I didn't witness it. What am I gonna say? Oh, someone told us off record that this happened. We're not sure if it's true or not. What can the police even do with that? I'm the wrong person to go to the police. That would be like Tana Mongeau or Gabby, who were actually there.
And I do understand his point for once, and that's the only time I'll ever say anything like that. But he is saying, like, yes, this did happen. Cody Co did do this. And I think that that's interesting because Keemstar has a long history of shaming victims. So it's a little crazy to see him standing up for victims. But if that means anything, then it means something. You know how embarrassing and disgusting that is to have somebody look at you and be like, hey, you're about to do something fucking gross, and you still do it. It's embarrassing enough to have people tell you, hey, don't hook up with that 17-year-old. But it's even more embarrassing that you knowingly, like, sir. And he's trying to sweep it under the rug. If you go on his Reddit, like, all of his mods are removing posts. He's heavily monitoring his comments. He's just deleting them. He's just posting like nothing. And this all gets made worse because, well, number one, not only did this come up in the past and he texted Tana, was like, are we good? Because I'm about to get married. So can you like keep it to yourself, basically?
I said something about it online and it was starting to surface. And he texted me like, are we good? And was like, I said, yeah. And like, he was like, my wedding's coming up.
It's also been revealed that he just has a history of keeping some bad company. I do just want to say too that this has been really triggering for me as someone who has been a victim of SA, because everybody's saying, oh, it's Tana Mongeau, who cares? She's not likable. She's promiscuous. What was she wearing? Like all that kind of nasty shit. Just because Cody Co is like a likable person. Is he though? Or is he just a criminal? I don't know. I think the answers are kind of right there. You know what I mean?
The most traumatizing thing of all of this really was seeing how many people like don't believe people or don't believe me. I feel so bad for all of these young girls because then they see that and then it makes them not want to come forward.
He has a best friend or a friend that he hangs out with who was put on probation by their college for non-consensually filming sexual acts with somebody who later went on to accuse him of drugging her and saying not only did she not consent to being filmed, she didn't consent to the sexual acts either. And unfortunately, he didn't get kicked out of the school because it was inconclusive. What the fuck does that mean? Because he literally admitted to filming it without her consent and lying to the cops about it. He admitted that, but they still didn't kick him out. Gotta love misogyny. But Cody Co knows this because it's his friend, duh. Like he obviously knows it and he still hangs out with him and he still invited him to his wedding. So now the puzzle pieces are just coming together that he's a fucking creep. And I hope Noel Miller's not a creep, but also I don't know how you could still be friends with somebody who's like that unless it's contractual. It's just so gross. And it's gross to see how Tana's being treated because like, yeah, she may not be the most likable person, but that doesn't mean that she shouldn't be able to speak her truth, which is why I really appreciate D'angelo Wallace for being a large creator that's like, what are we doing here? Why are we just letting this person get away with this? It's really disgusting. The other half to this is like, I really liked his wife, Kelsey, and now I'm looking at her all kinds of different because there's no way you don't fucking know. There's no way you don't know. And especially now because people are in her comments, commenting about it, and there's less. They're definitely going through and deleting them, but there's still some there. And it's like, I know they just had a baby together and that's a hard position to put her in, but mama's got her own money. And if I found out that my boyfriend had done this and acted this way to an underage person, I'm leaving. You're gross. You're creeping me out for life. Perpetual ick, more than ick. It's like you're disgusting. So now I'm looking at her funny and I just can't. But at the end of the day, I just hope that we learn to stop protecting people that don't deserve to be protected, and we protect the people that actually were victimized and deserve to be protected, because that's the way it should be. Like, what the fuck? Other creators are now starting to speak out. Jarvis basically said that the allegations are disgusting and Cody Ko needs to pop out and say something, because him just being silent about this is not gonna work. Okay, so Jarvis said, these Cody Ko allegations are serious and the actions described are disgusting. He needs to respond immediately. It's absolutely necessary for us to listen to victims, period, platform or not, and regardless of personal feelings towards them. We must treat claims like this seriously. Also, to respond to a number of DMs I've received, despite occupying similar genres online, I don't know Cody as a person outside of his content, and we have never and we will never work together. We will never, ever, ever work together. Sorry, this video makes me really uncomfortable because it's so heavy. I just had to slide in there with something, you know? I got another one for you. What about, I hurt your feelings, you don't work with me no more. Okay. If you don't know where that one came from, then you and I are beefing. Anyways, so a lot of other creators are getting asked to speak out about this because that's what the internet does. They attack every part of somebody, including people they've seen them with, etc. And Brittany Broski's getting a lot of flack for this because she has collaborated with him, and she actually turned down a collaboration with Tana because she found Brooke and Tana to be too controversial, but then she collaborated with Cody. So it's just not a great look, but she did come out and she said, I'm crushed to learn about the Cody allegations. If it's proven to be true, I feel like objectively it has been, then that's extremely upsetting as a collaborator and longtime fan. I find all of this disturbing, inappropriate, and just flat out disappointing. She also did remove their collaboration. But yeah, that's all we've got besides the fact that he's trending on Twitter. So let's see if he wants to respond and say something. I really think at this point, that's what needs to be done. Because him just continuing to post like nothing is happening is in the most poor taste it can be. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. I just wanted to touch on this subject because I feel like more people need to be talking about it, and he needs to say something. And I know that it's like, what do you say in that position? Because you're gross and you can't just come out and deny it. You also can't just be like, yeah, I fucking did that. But I think not saying anything is so nasty because your son is going to grow up and see this shit about you one day, and he's going to see that you didn't say shit. And it'd be easier to just be like, you know what? I was a disgusting human being and I did something that was irreprehensible and I'm ashamed of myself. And I'm sorry to Tana, and I'm sorry to all the other people that have been triggered by the situation. And I can't ever say sorry enough. And then what you do is you take all your content money and your software money and you go fuck off and you leave the internet forever. Truly, leave the internet forever. Don't ever want to see you again. You have enough money to where you can do that. And you're really smart. You made an app. So if you really need money in the future, make another one anonymously. Tana says she's not traumatized by it, which I will respect, but I think that makes me sad because she said if it was somebody else, she wouldn't accept that behavior. So it makes me sad that when it comes to herself, she's like, oh, whatever, worse has happened to me.
I don't associate or hold it with trauma because I am such a comparative person where I'm like, so many worse things have happened to me. I know things manifest in ways other than me directly feeling them. Like maybe I don't feel traumatized in certain aspects from certain things, and other things I do. But, you know, maybe they just manifest in ways other than directly feeling.
If I had a 17-year-old daughter or a little sister or something, like I would kill.
I would never let it fly.
I can relate to that mindset. I'm definitely like, oh, this isn't the worst thing that's ever happened to me, so it's not that bad. But it is a crime. It was bad. And I think it's funny that Tiny Meeking is aptly named because she said he has the smallest wiener that she's ever been with. So I think that's your karma for being nasty, is that you have a little pigeon egg. Nasty. Anyways, bye.